We're here with Roberta Ashkin. She's an attorney whose practice is located in New York, but her practice is actually national. Roberta, thank you very much for joining us today at the Mass Torts Made Perfect conference. And Roberta, I have been very intrigued by the fact that you have recognized that women are not being well served in the legal marketplace, and you're doing something about it. Could you tell our listeners what it is you're doing? It's very exciting, very interesting, and is absolutely necessary.
Well, Jan, thanks for having me, and I know that you know this because it's something that's near and dear to you too. Women are not a minority population, but in many respects they are considered that. So oftentimes law firms sort of have a masculine edge to them, and particularly in the field that you and I are in, you'll find that there aren't a profound number of female advocates who are out there fighting the fight. And as a result, you know, gender plays a part in how one approaches a jury and how one approaches the client. What we have found about women is that something like 80% of women are the household purchasers of household products, and somewhere in the 60 to 80% range, they are also the purchasers of pharmaceutical goods, not only for themselves, but for their family members. This makes women a very active target for direct-to-consumer advertising by pharmaceutical companies, and of course by all types of household products. So your household soaps, your dust mops, everything else that has to do with the home, the children, and even buying food. So it makes sense that if women are the purchasers and women are the ones who basically are going to be provided with this information through the media, that women should be served differently and have a place in a law firm where they have individualized attention and where they feel that they can talk about issues that are specific to them. And it would not necessarily only be personal injury. You have abridgment of civil liberties, workplace discrimination, voting rights issues for minority women. There are so many things that really need a platform where a woman can come and speak to us and have individualized responses and then figure out what the best method is in the legal system for the appropriate redress. You know, nothing could be more on target now, Jan, than the new Procrit and Epigen program that we're instituting. We're talking about a major pharmaceutical with tremendous profits derived from, at least in part, the female population.
I want to, you just talked about this project that we are doing together to really help all of those victims who were hurt or may have been hurt by use of these anemia drugs, Procrit and Aranesp and Epigen. And I'm very interested in your insights, if you could share those with our listener, as to how we're going to try and approach the female user of these products or the person in the household who was really in charge of the health and safety of their family. How best can we serve them in this project?
Well, I think we have to first understand what happens in a situation, let's take typically of kidney dialysis. If it is the female who's going through the dialysis 3 times a day, there's a tremendous abridgment of her ability to function as a wife or a mother or as a businesswoman, because you are really transfusing yourself, or you're going to a kidney dialysis center, which really takes a good part of a chunk of a day 3 times a week. If you are the caregiver of someone undergoing dialysis, it's overwhelming. So it's being able to be available at a time that works for a housewife, a mother, or a working mother, which may not be necessarily the normal office hours. It's also appreciating the kind of impact that it places on the family. These are important areas of compensation when we get to the lawsuits. How is it impacted in the family? The ability to earn, the stress that it puts on the family unit, the loss of consortium that occurs from these things. Kidney dialysis patients, if they're young and lucky, may be able to have some type of normal life for a while, but it is a very difficult process to live with, and it is one that requires vigilance and going to the doctors, and that's where the women are going. They're taking their husbands' children to the doctors. They are the ones who communicate most commonly with the healthcare providers. So these are the kind of questions we have to focus with women on to get a full understanding of the impact on the family and the history of the whole progression of the debacle leading to the stroke, the heart attack, or the progression of cancer, which can happen from these dangerous drugs.
Roberta, we have linked to your website, which is a very unique approach, and I urge those who are listening to look on our webpage. It's part of our resources. You can easily link to your site, but I'd like you to just briefly, could you describe how did you approach this web design? It's a little different than your ordinary law firm. Could you tell us a little about that?
I wanted something that I liked. And I think that you always get the best result when you do what appeals to you. So I wanted something that was easier to look at, softer on the eye, that was, unfortunately, this is not a fun thing, but to the extent that it could be pleasurable to be able to get through the website and learn things and become more informed. So we have a page that's devoted specifically to women's issues, and there are all types of women's issues that come out daily, things about improper information about mammograms, new types of mammograms that are required, the underdiagnosis of cardiac disease in women. There's just all kinds of issues that are women's specific. But we also have a law blog which is called Lawtitudes, and which hosts celebrity guests in both the legal field as well as other celebrities, talking about every aspect of the legal and political world as it affects legal redress and legal wrongs in our legal system. So I wanted it to be fun, innovative, exciting, informational, but not hard on the eye. That's where we got it from.
Well, Roberta, it's a pleasure always to speak with you, and I know that those who have tuned in are intrigued by you, as all are, and I really urge them to go to your site to continue the experience. They will learn a tremendous amount from your web site with the information that it has, and also it's delivered in a very interesting and colorful way. So,
well, thank you, Jan.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.